Have they gotten it wrong?
No. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
But you said why they use it?
Yeah.
Oh, so they won't. So no bills get passed.
So you're holding things. You're holding up all of the business on the floor. Absolutely, you are. And in fact, the argument is 1, 2, 3, 4. The argument is that people are basically using this to stop things from getting done more than they're actually trying to get anything done. Go ahead, click it. Pick me a category. Go, Wealthy Anna.
We'll do courts for 2.
Courts for 2. Student who most likely wears a wig in class. Go ahead.
Look.
Oh, click it. Click it.
No.
Go ahead, pick me a category. Go.
Legislature for 2.
First hand I see because it was a term. It wasn't a list. It wasn't a list. Yeah, it wasn't a list. Go, pick me a category.
Legislature for 2.
Legislature for 2. Fusion of power, separation of power. First hand I see. What's the difference?
I know it.
First hand I see. Go ahead.
Separation of power is in the U.S. Fusion of
Separation of power is in the U.S.
is in Europe.
What's that?
In Europe.
What is in Europe?
Fusion of power.
Okay, what does it mean?
Okay, so the difference between separation of powers, fusion of powers, there's not much difference between really legislative and executive.
Yeah.
It's like
You're close, but I need something specific. Go ahead, Rube.
There's 3 branches in the United States.
Yes.
It's the executive, the judicial, and the what's the other one? The legislature.
Yeah, okay.
And so that's a separation of powers.
It is separation of powers. I'll actually go with that. What group is this? Lewis's group. Legislative, executive, judicial. And in fact, when you think about it, separation of powers means that the Congress is not in the president's business, the president isn't in the Congress business, the court, there's no, you get your power and the other branches can't touch it. What's fusion? Because she's right. This is, you're talking about Great Britain. 5. Who's got it next, Mom? 4.
I think Megan.
3.
Fusion is pretty much
2.
They're like intermingled. They're like working.
They're intermingled.
It's not like going against each other. They're all. It's more
the opposite of deadlock.
Yeah.
Deadlock. -2. Go ahead, Megan's group.
So fusion of power
Yes.
is where like the different branches are made up of kind of the same government. So like in Britain, for example, you have the Prime Minister that chooses the courts, or that the courts are chosen
4.
by the Commons House.
3. Go ahead, Henry. 2.
Prime Minister is also part of the Parliament.
Okay.
And he's chosen by the Parliament, so it's an indirect.
And what about the courts? Do the courts come from the Parliament?
They do, actually.
Okay, so in order to be a member of the government in a fusion of power system, what do you have to be a member of?
Parliament.
You have to be a member of the Parliament, yes. Fusion of power system, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And the courts actually come from the House of Lords as opposed to the House of
The
Commons.
courts actually come from the House of Lords, yes. So, yes.
You made a mistake. Look.
What does it say?
It says, I said the opposite of deadlock. Deadlock. In presidential systems, executive and legislative branches blocking each other.
Yeah.
So I said the opposite of deadlock.
Yeah. Are you buying that answer? 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 -2. Okay. Pick me a category. Click it. Fusion of power, separation. All branches of government are combined, usually within Parliament. Separation. All branches of government checking each other so that none are too strong. Go. Pick me a category.
Executives 5 points.
Executives for 5. Cohabitation, first hand I see. I believe it is wealthy. Yeah, Anna, you know about cohabitation. Go ahead.
Couple living.
No, she's not. No, what she wants to say is when a president and a prime minister have to work together.
What does that mean?
Oh, they have to.
Both of you are kind of right, but you got to be specific.
They
5.
both have to like
4.
work with each other to like.
What's that?
They have to work with each
3.
other. Work with each other. Live with each other.
Is there an article in there?
2.
Is there an article in there?
1.
Wait, what are you looking for?
Go ahead.
It's like a boy and a girl not married trying to
Live together.
Cohabitation in its most literal sense is that when an unmarried couple, male and female, live together. How does this relate to actually the hybrid system?
the president and the prime minister. And if it's majority, like, for example, the president's from Group A and the prime minister is Group B. They have to.
And how is it that the prime minister would come from Party B? Because you're right with everything you said so far. Why would the Party B have the prime minister?
Because the parliament is party B.
When cohabitation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The president is directly elected and it would be a party A person. When a majority elects the parliament but in a different election, but in fact it comes from party B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just like the boy and the girl living together out of wedlock. What country was this an example of? 5, 4. What country? 3.
You went way too fast.
Because we're running out of time. 2.
France.
It is France. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Click it, Mama. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 30, 31, 40, 45, 50, 43, 7, 10, -2. Pick me a category. Come on, material. Let's see a smile.
Courts, 3.
Pick me a category. Courts for 3. Judicial review, first-hand IC. Go ahead.
The ability of the Supreme Court to validate a law or invalidate.
To invalidate a law. The ability of the Supreme Court to invalidate an unconstitutional law. Absolutely. This is typically found where? What country? 5, 4. What country?
USA?
USA, yeah, it is typically there. Click at them on. Ability, of course, to decide if laws are constitutional, not available in all countries. Pick me a category. You guys have a chance to make a move here. Gotta go.
Constitutions for 3.
Constitution for 3. Differences between British libel and American libel. First-hand IC. Go ahead, Wealthy Anna. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I swear he goes faster when it comes here.
Who's next, Lamar?
I think it was Megan. Yeah.
Go ahead, Megan.
The difference between British libel and American libel is like the publications have to be careful about what they say because they can be sued for different things.
What could conceivably get them sued? What is it specifically?
Releasing private information about people.
I need something specific.
A scandal that somebody was in.
Need something specific. You're giving me examples. What is it in the British libel that will lead somebody to be able to get damages? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's next? Go ahead. 5.
My understanding, anything slanderous about someone.
What does that mean?
Defamation of character.
What does that mean? British, we're talking about British libel. I don't need any of these big words. I just need a definition. 4, 3,
Can we do American libel?
2.
You can say something about someone even if it's not true and it destroys their image. You do that.
In Britain. 1, 2, 3. In Britain, if you publish something that could potentially damage somebody's reputation, you will be able to sue and win for damages. It doesn't have to be true or false, just potentially damages. Do you remember the pop singer that the article mentioned? Britney Spears. They printed, in fact, if you remember with this, they printed, in fact, that her marriage was on the rocks. She sued for libel. How is American libel different? Because the British libel is based to stop publication.
You have to prove it.
What are the 2 things that you've got to do to win a libel case in the United States?
Prove that it has hurt them in any way.
-3. Who's next, Lamar?
I don't know. Oh wait, did you guys have your hands up for something?
I think they did.
Yeah, but they already went, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Anybody? Click it, Lamar. U.S. It's got to be false. You've got to prove, number 1, that it's false, but more importantly, you've got to prove that it was malicious. So just because somebody printed something that was wrong, you got to prove that you're actively going after somebody or you made a really stupid mistake. Click it, Lamar. Pick me a category, Lewis's group.
Legislature for 4.
Legislatures for 4. List all you can. Go. Head of government versus head of state. What's the difference? First-hand IC. Go ahead, Henry.
The head of the government is the prime minister. And,
Yeah.
The head of the state would be the president.
Okay, this is in the hybrid system. You're talking about France. What does the head of government do versus what the head of state does?
The head of government, well, the head of state normally deals with international affairs.
Yes.
And the head of government deals with more day-to-day.
Head of government, 1, 2, 3, 4, is going to be dealing with international. Head of state, 1, 2, 3, 4, is going to be dealing, in fact, with the day-to-day legislative operations. In France, if the president is from one party and the prime minister is from the other one, the president is going to be the head of state and the prime minister is going to be the head of government. If the president and the prime minister are from the same party, the president in France will be both. What about in England? Who's the head of state and who's the head of government? 5, 4, 3.
The head of state is the monarch.
Head of state is the monarch. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And the head of the government is the prime minister.
And the head of the government is the prime minister. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You have us at 6 on one of those. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a cross through.
I think we're good. If you come up and look, you'll see. I think we're good. And in the United States, I may not have told you this, but we'll take care of it right now. 5, 4, 3,
the head of state is
2,
the president.
1.
And the head of the government is vice president.
-4. Go ahead.
And my hand was up first.
Go ahead, Kobe.
The president is the head of state and the head of...
President is actually the head of state, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the head of government, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick me a category. Click it, Lamont.
My hand was up first.
-4. Pick me a category. Go.
Executive for 2 points.
Executive for 2. Well, that's a ballsy category. Sabato. First-hand IC. Larry Sabato suggested a series of constitutional amendments to the American Constitution. What were they? Go ahead, Megan.
One was that there would be 2 years of service
A
requirement.
minimum 2-year service requirement. 1, 2 for all what?
For all able-bodied.
Able-bodied young people. Go. Tell me more. What other were they?
Okay.
You'll have it next, Eric. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Representative for each gender, ethnicity, and age group, and also there was
-2. Oh. Go ahead.
Alright, so there was the presidential term would run six
Presidential
years.
terms would run 6 years. Why?
Because it gives you time for campaigning and I guess, well...
Give you time for campaigning?
So campaign doesn't interrupt with work.
Actually, that's exactly what it was. You would have 6 years to actually focus on the business of the American people without having to campaign. What happens at the end of those 6 years?
You
5,
can either
4,
they can either like you and
3.
keep you in,
Like they can have a vote before the vote. Say,
vote before the vote.
Does American people?
What are you
still
voting
want-
on?
Does American people still want this president? Or
And then
not?
if they say yes, how long does he stay?
2 more years.
2 more years, actually, that's right. 1, 2, what else?
And if he doesn't, if they don't want him, they have a whole new election with 2 new candidates.
That is true, actually, yes. Tell me more.
then
What other amendments? We got the president out of the way, we got the service requirement out of the way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anybody? There's a lot of points on this. Click it, Lamont. Sabato, term limits for Congress. 1,000 members actually in the House, if you remember on this. 15-year limit for the judges. The big states in the Senate would get more seats, if you remember. So the biggest ones would get 4, the middle 15 would get 3, the bottom 25 would get the regular 2, and who else would get 1 seat?
DC.
DC actually would, yeah. DC would. 1, 2. And then a balanced budget amendment. Click it, Lamont. Lamont, do you have to go?
You have to go.
Okay. Can somebody come up here and run the board real quick? Yeah, come on up, Alexander. I trust you. I don't know
Is
why.
he still on our team?
Pick me a category.
We're gonna take Constitution for 3.
Constitution for 3. Hurry, Alexander. The clock's ticking. Differences. Oh, okay, we've already had that one. Lamont messed it up. Go ahead. Just show him how to do it, Lamont.
Okay, so then you click on this thing.